Okay, now I got a solid green. I wonder if it's because I did it too early. We have audio. Let's go back to Twitch and see if I'm getting feedback now. And waiting, and waiting, and waiting, and waiting, and waiting. This computer is so old. It's time to place it. I just don't have the money. Come on, stop loading crap that I don't need. My channel. My channel. And any time now, the spinning beach balls are heavily incorporated. Okay, I got sound now. And I know it's probably feeding back all nastily to you guys. And this little clip is way too small. I can't like get it on my shirt. Here we go. That should work. Good enough. Yeah, that's all right. All right, let's kill that. Actually, I'll just turn the audio off, mute it, so I can watch it. And go back to the StreamYard window, which is much cleaner and clearer. And hello, Happy New Year, and all that crap finally. Today is goof off day. Cleanup. I have some things I need to do. And one of the major ones I need to do, and I already bought them, you can actually see them right there, is I bought some filters for filtering. To filter. Multiple idea of filtering, actually. And I was just going to buy a couple 3, and come to find out, if you buy them in packs of 4 at Home Cheapo, they're half price. Because they were like $11, $12 a piece. But if you buy 4 of them, it came to $22. So I bought 4 because I needed 3, and you might as well get the 4th one for free. And I actually think I want even more. And what I want to do is, and you can't see it, but my main dust collection, I want to, right now it pumps outside. It goes into my cyclone, filters out the big chips, and then I just have it go a hose right out the wall to a dryer vent. And so all the super fine dust that the separator doesn't separate out is just going outside, which is fine all summer long, and most of spring and most of fall. But now it's getting chilly, and I would like to keep the warm air in here. So I'm going to build a box, I think, that I can put these filters in, which these are the mid-grade ones. And I have a feeling I'm going to want a finer filter in the long run. But I was just kind of playing, and this is as much a test, and it can't be any worse than the stupid bag that dust collector comes with, because it comes with one of those big stupid bags, which I got right here actually. What are these? It's it's the Grizzly 1 horsepower, and it filters into this bag, and this is fine for big chips, but it does not filter out the little fine stuff. You fire it up, and if the light hits it right, you can just see the cloud of dust. going away from it. So I think these are going to work. These are the mid-grade. What does it say? I got the 7s. I didn't get the 4s. The 4s are even cheaper. I got 7s. I'm actually looking at 9s, which I have a feeling is what I really want for this. But for now, I can test with these because I actually want to make 2. And I'm going to try it. I'm going to build it to hold 3 of these. So I have plenty of airflow. I'm going to find out how much air restriction this has, how much or little flow it gets. If I need 3 or maybe even more, I can add them. But for now, I'm going to do 2 because the other thing is my planer over here, the yellow thing right there. Right now, it self blows. It has its own chip extractor in it. If you know the DeWalt DW735, it has its own chip extractor, blows chips out the door. I just put a hose on it and blow it out the door. I open the door, boom, outside, out into the driveway. I have a fairly large yard. Neighbors are far enough away, so it's not an issue. You know, I'm not like in a city or anything. I'm in a somewhat wooded location, so I can blow it right out the door. Now, again, the problem is I open the whole big garage door, and all my nice warm air in here goes out the door. Because as you can see right here, I'm using these right there electric heaters. I generally have 2 of those in here running. I keep them on low to medium, and it keeps it in here at like 70 degrees. It's 69 degrees right now in here. I don't know if you can read that, but it's 69 degrees with 2 of those running. And they're actually way more efficient than I ever thought they were. Actually, that's my heat in my kitchen blew out, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. And I put one of those heaters in the kitchen as supplemental heat, and I haven't changed it yet because I actually put a draw meter on it. And in the course of 3 months, one of those in my kitchen, and my kitchen's really tiny. It's only like 9 by 9. It's a ridiculously small kitchen, which I'm fine with. I actually don't mind the small kitchen. It cost me $27 to run it for 3 months in the kitchen, which is fine. For the original heat, you used to have one of those baseboard toe kick heaters, and I've put a couple in there, and they're just super hot, and they kick on and off. And if you stand in front of it when it kicks on, sometimes it's kind of nice, but it's like stupid hot air coming out of it. I've literally melted the floor with the original one from the 70s because the house was built in 1970. It's melted the like linoleum floor in front of it. It literally burned it, like blackened it because it gets so hot. I put a slightly weaker one in there, I don't know, probably 10 years ago, and it didn't last 2 years. It burned out. And the kitchen wasn't that warm. That thing runs way less juice, and they're just always on. They're not drawing a lot of energy. They're just always on. There's no on off on off on off. Which, if you know anything about all those electric motors and heaters and everything, the initial draw to turn it on is usually more than just continue running, like most electronics. When you take your computer, you turn it on, the first 15 seconds, 30 seconds draws more energy than it does for the next half hour. So anyway, I put one of those in. It cost me, I put a meter on it. I figured I was paying about $27, $28 for 3 months to run that. Now, there's other heat in the house, and the floor plan of that house is all open. It's pretty much open. It's not wide open. There's hallways and everything, but there's no closed doors. So the dining room heat, the living room heat, the bathroom heat, the hallway heat, they're all bleeding into each other in a big circle and right up the stairs, which I wish I could stop, but that's a different story. So it works. The kitchen stays just as warm, if not warmer, on one of those. So I've got a couple more. I heat my basement with one side of my basement with those now. Works fine. I just got one of them in the whole basement. It works. It keeps the basement, even on the coldest days when everything closed up, at like 55 degrees, which is fine. I've had it when it gets really cold and windy in here. It gets down to like 60, 55 when it's really cold and windy. I actually have a third one now out here that I only use. I actually use it when I'm pouring resin because I'll put it close to the resin to keep the resin warm. Because most resins need to be 70, 75 degrees to cure properly. And I've been running it on the really cold days. We had a really cold spell between Thanksgiving and Christmas. It kept it 65, 70 degrees in here, even with it like below zero, wind blowing. That's the big thing out here. This garage is far from sealed tight. I mean, they are insulated doors. That I've insulated this, but far from the best insulation job I've ever done in my life. I kind of did it last year in the cold, so I slapped it in as fast as I could, and it's not a good job, but it helps. So, anyways, there's that. I'm going to build. Now that we got sidetracked, I'm going to try and build a filter box out of these. And I'm actually thinking of building three of them. One for the main dust collection over here, which is over there on the wall, right there. What's up, Vince? And I'm going to filter that so it's not just pumping outside. Let me get the router out of the way now that I got this area cleaned out. I've been cleaning, and I'm probably going to do some more cleaning before I get into this because I like things clean. Piece of plywood with some tape on the bottom. So this thing's got the dust separator on it, but it's just pumping the fine dust outside. There is dust there. It's not a lot, but it's definitely that ultra fine, super powdery dust, which is what you need to get rid of. That's the worst stuff for your lungs. So I'm going to build a box to hold these, to go onto that. But I think first, I'm not quite done cleaning. I have a little bit more over here I want to clean up. It's getting kind of organized. As you can see, my piles of wood are somewhat organized. All the piles, there's almost nothing on the bottom under there anymore. Right here, there used to be piles of crap there, and I've thrown out a lot of it. It was just garbage wood that I was saving because, you might use it someday. And there becomes a point where it's just cluster at that point. So I need to build a box that attaches to that vacuum unit. And hopefully I can filter out the ultra fine dust using that box with those filters. Again, I will probably go out and get some MERV 13, I guess. I think these are like equivalent. They give their FPR of 7, which I believe is the same as like MERV 9 or 11 or something like that. But I think I really need to go to a finer dust. Dust and lint, it says, better. It filters out dust, lint, airborne dust, and mite debris, pollen, pet dander, mold, spores, bacteria. So that's actually pretty fine. The next step up does dust, lint, airborne dust, pet dander, mold spores, bacteria, microscopic allergens, virus carriers, and most smoke, which that might be overkill. This might actually be the right amount for the dust. Again, that's all I want to do. Now, the other thing is I'm thinking, while I'm cleaning out the dust, is I can actually filter the air through it. So not only is it picking up the dust when you run the machine, but I can filter the air through a couple of these or one of these. And I'm sure you've seen, if you've seen any of that crap, there's people that make filter boxes, air filter boxes, using these on a regular old everyday fan. I have a dual window fan thing, which is just about this long, a little bit shorter. It's a cheapo one. And I'm thinking I can build a little box for that and just slide one of these in and have the fan drawn air through it and filter the air out. Again, it's just getting it done. It's another thing to do. And do I even need to do it? Is it just spreading the dust? That's the other question is, okay, you're pulling in air and, whatever you're pulling in is being filtered out. But when you blow it out the as the air blows out the other side, yes, you filtered the air that's drawn through it, but you're just stirring up the air on the other side. So you're not necessarily filtering. Oh God. How do I come on, computer. Fuck him. Goodbye. Report. I don't want anyone. No farm, spam, scams, bots. I don't want anybody. I hate those kind of guys. Anyway, so spam bot gotten rid of. DodgeHype.com. How do I get it to just go away? I want it to be gone, removed. How do I tell it to remove the message? Well, I blocked them, so. How can I not be a mod on my own stream? That's one thing I don't really like about Twitch. But anyway, we will deal with that later. So anyway, that's what I got to do. But I think this pile right here is the last pile of cluster suck of wood that I think I need to go through and sort and throw out what I'm not going to use, or burn it, or my neighbor burns it. I give her all my flammables. The only I won't give her is plywood and pressure treated. But yeah, I got to build a box for this, which I'm going to hope to get to today. and clean up a little. I've been cleaning up, organizing, picking up. I got some scraps over here, which I might do first, that are on the table saw right here, that I want to cut off the garbage I'm not going to use, cut pieces that I am going to use, which I might actually do first on the bandsaw, and get rid of that crap. I might actually do that first. This bottom shelf right here needs to be organized still. I just kind of threw crap on it while I was organizing other crap. So maybe I should do that first. Should I do that first? I think I'm going to do that first. So let's get organized over there. Stuff this under there. Get this chair out of the way that just loves to roll away. Fold this thing up because I don't need it right now, and it's just in the way. Come on. Get it out of the way. Hang up the stool that's in the way on the hook with the other ladder. I will get my folding chair out because that's better than that roll around chair, office chair for this kind of stuff. Maybe I'll bring the camera over so you can more or less see what I'm doing. I'll be right there. Sort of bring the camera over. What's up, John? How is life? We are cleaning first. I've got some actual work to do, but I've been organizing all my material and just the whole shop. I've been cleaning the shop out, kind of getting rid of the scraps and junk. You can see the wood piles are somewhat neat and organized and cleaned up a little bit. There used to be, right where that chair is, those are leaning, used to be a whole pile of junk there. Now there's a pile of junk there I'm going to go through. And what's up, Ann? You guys are on YouTube instead of Twitch. Not that I care. I actually think I'm going to go back to YouTube. I've been making YouTube. If I can get over my 1,000 subscribers, which I haven't even come close to. I'm like not even halfway, I don't think. How many subscribers do I have on YouTube? I think I'm just halfway, 500. I would probably go over to YouTube completely, because I actually like the moderation and everything better on YouTube. But whatever. Twitch is fine. I don't hate Twitch. I used to hate Twitch. But anyway. Yeah. 554. So that's not terrible. You need to break that 1,000. And I'm just not. I don't. My regular content isn't high enough quality because I'm just using a little crappy camcorder most of the time. I think I should go to my cell phone. It would probably be better. But anyway, so first off, let's pull this stuff out of here. I will bring my box of junk. Actually, I think I'll start a smaller new box of junk. Maybe not. I'll just bring the big one over because I think this will hold everything. Oh, crap. There's a lot of wood in here to burn. The box of junk, which honestly, I don't think there's that much junk in here. It's just disorganized. Most of this I will probably keep, because a lot of them are, they got plastic on them. I use them for, speak, Tom. Can't think of the word I'm looking for. Calls. Just keep like glue up straight. And most of it's halfway decent wood. I just need to reorganize it. This is absolute garbage. That can go in the burn pile. This can go with the millimini stuff. I have no idea what this is. This looks like cedar, but it's not. It's pine. These can all go over here for now, which I'm going to organize some more. And again, they got plastic on them. I use these as cauls more. This has actually got tape on it. Let's take the tape off. I used it to do something. Come on, tape, come off. Usually if you take double-sided tape and you stick it to more double-sided tape, it peels it off, but it's not peeling it off this time. Probably because it's been on there a while. A long, long while. It's not working because, like I said, I think it's because it's been on there a while. Because it is not coming off. I may chuck that. Because I'll just scrap anyways. That's actually plywood, and I want to put it over here. This is almost all plywoods and crap woods. And more crap. And more crap. That's pine, and this is actually a nice chunk of oak. More cauls and a piece of cedar and another piece of oak. And some more oak with a big old hole in the back, but whatever. This is another piece of tapey covered piece. This is a really crappy piece of oak, which I think that's going in the burn pile. This is a piece of pine with all kinds of tape on it, but I'm going to take the tape off. As long as all the tape's off of it, it's going in the burn pile. And I need a garbage can. I need a garbage can. Because some of this stuff is just going in the garbage because I don't want anybody burning it. Because that's not good. Some of it with plastics or whatever are just not good to burn. I don't know if that's any good or not. It's got so many bug holes in it. But I'm not sure I want to throw it out yet. And that is sheet goods. And that's another piece of pine. But you know what? I think I'll leave the plastic on it. Some more oak. And that is plywood. And that is melamine. And some more plywood. And these little twigs I'm breaking up and letting her burn. Because I got plenty of them. Normally I save those and I use them for glue spreaders and stuff. But, yeah. There's a point where you got to just get rid of them. That one was full of nails and screws and stuff. Plywood. These are all, I use them for, I got to get a small box for that. Because I use them for French cleats. All this 3/4 inch plywood, which is why I've been saving it. But there's a point where you just got to stop saving everything. This looks nice, but if you look at it close, it's got millions of little wormholes in it. So it's going in the burn pile. That's actually a nice piece of maple. Yeah, it's a very thin piece of oak. It's more really thin oak. That's just a chunk of who knows what. That's a little chunk of who knows what. That's full of nails and screws, and that's full of nails and screws. And that's a really thin piece of oak. A lot of these are just cut-offs that I save, and sometimes I use them. And then after a while, I have to go through and full of nails and screws. And just do like I'm doing and sort through it a little bit and decide how much of it I want to keep. That can be burned. That can go in the garbage because it's covered in tapes and stuff. I don't want to bother taking it off. I don't know what this is. I think this is mahogany. That's that beech nut. It's a little chunk. It can go in the garbage. All the plywoods, which for now I think I'll put here because I'll make French cleats out of that. That's real thin, so it's not French cleat material. This is all separated plywood. That's really thin plywood. This is millimeans. More plywoods and plywoods, really thin plywoods. More plywoods. What do we got back here? More plywoods. Some cedars and more plywoods. More plywoods. Really thin pine sheet. More plywood. I think I might actually start keeping the plywood back in here. Scraps. Yeah, let's keep the plywood over there. More plywood, more plywood. Lots and lots of plywood. I cleaned out this pile already once, and now I'm making it a disgusting pile again. This stuff can all go away. You can burn this. Got more of them right here. Just don't need them. That's black walnut, and I am going to keep that because that's got some good pieces on it. So that goes over there. But all these ultra thin strips, she can burn because I don't need them anymore. Just don't need them anymore. I don't even know what that is. I think that's pine. More and more plywood. These are just really tiny pieces, which might as well chuck because those aren't good for anything. These are oak, but they're all blown apart and full of bug holes. So that's burnables. And more chunks of plywood. And a nice real thin rip off of a glue up. And a useless screw that I can't get my finger on. And I'm going to make some noise and run the vacuum cleaner. So be prepared if you're wearing headphones or anything. It's going to get noisy here for a second, in a second, for a second. Because I'm going to vacuum out the bottom of this real quick and then put everything back in an organized manner. Loud. And off. All right. And I think a lot of this I'm just going to put back in there, but now in a more organized manner than what I had before. Maybe. If I can get it in a more organized manner. Yeah, boy. Some of this stuff back here. little more organized, not terribly, but just a little. It'll look a little neater at least, right? I don't want to throw all these out, even though they're tiny, because they make good French cleats. Okay, what are you catching on? And why are you catching? Probably should throw out more of it, but I'm not gonna. No, I do like throwing stuff out. I hate hanging on to junk I don't need or want. There are people that will be like, oh, you're going to use it someday. You know what? Whoops. The might use it someday thing don't work for me. Because usually when you keep so much crap because you might use it someday, you never use it because half the time you can't find it. Because you got so much crap. So you end up making or buying a new one. And then 6 months later you find it again. And go, oh, I might use that someday. And then it gets buried. And you never do. So there's that. That pile is now neater. And this box has gotten more fuller. With more junky junk. The only else I want to do is this shelf, which I don't think I'm going to do right now. I'm kind of out of breath. Tripod! How's it going, my friend? How is life in the tripodular area? In the tripodulus. Is there such a thing as a tripodulus? Tripogenation? Back to my comfy chair because my leg and back are already starting to go nuts. I'm doing all right. Yeah, I try and do that too. But again, my family is a very much a don't throw it out because you might use it someday kind of family. And it's very cluster-y. And I don't like cluster. Cluster really kind of annoys me. I don't get things done. If it's clustered, I end up going out and spending an hour trying to figure out what the hell I'm doing and then just give up and walk away and nothing ever gets done. If I have to search for an hour to find something, I just won't do it. It just annoys me too much these days. Too old and tired for that. If I have to move things around 8 times to get to one, not going to deal with it. It'll just sit. So it's a little more organized. It's a little cleaner. I could sort of see what I'm doing now. I got to do a little more organization, but for now it's good. I think those 2 little boxes, you guys can't see them, but there's 2 little itty bitty boxes right behind the edge of this table that are, they're actually full of an old table leg cut off. It was a turned table leg, so I cut it all up and used chunks of it. I've been saving it because it's all solid like maple. It's really nice wood, but I got no way to clean it up. They're too small and spindly. I've been saving them thinking I might, run them through the joiner or the planer or something, but they're just too small to run through any of the equipment. And I think I'm just going to throw them out. I'm at the point, I've had them for a year or 2 now. Haven't used them, haven't found a way to clean them. Tired of thinking about it, tired of them in the way. I think they're going to go in the garbage. They have too much finish and crap on them for her to burn. I won't give her stuff with finish on them. So, yeah. The other thing I got to do is actually clean this off. This has got metal shavings on it. I don't like metal shavings on my wood stuff. Shake it out over the garbage can. I accidentally, whoops, it just tore out now. I wasn't thinking that I ran my utility knife cutting through a piece of cardboard or something. So my mat got chopped up. I think it might be time for a little bit bigger, better mat. I've been buying these super cheapo ones, silicone mats, off of Amazon. I've gotten a few different sizes and shapes, and I might actually save these and use these for a glue pad, though. This would actually be good for, like, when I'm gluing and I set the brush down. I've been using this screwed up coaster that I messed up. Got like a bad dig in it. I'm using it for that, but I think what I'll do is I'll cut these into squares, and I can set the glue brush down on them. That one's too small for anything. You can get thrown out. But yeah, I've been going through different styles and thicknesses, and they tear and break. But I think if I go for a true, like the slat mat style, thicker, these have been like $5-10 cheapies. And they do work. They help keep the glue and crap off my table. And I don't think I spent $20 on all of them, and I got more of them around here. I bought these in like 2 packs for $12, I think they were. They were, I don't know, 18 by 30. They're really thin and cheap. I think I need to get a thicker one. Need to organize my metal fabrication area. Yeah. Dude, your garage is like super organized. Way more organized than mine is. That's for sure. You're all fancy cleats and sidewalls, and I really do like that, your walls. I prefer actual French cleats over those proprietary clip-in walls. Not that they're really proprietary, but they do look nice. Your frickin' garage looks really good, dude. I like it a lot. I've been considering doing something else, something similar. I've actually been thinking about just going out and now that wood is starting to lower in price, it's not really dropping dramatically, but I can get more OSB like this. This is all just 1/8 and 1/4 OSB, and it's like $11 a sheet now for 7/16. And I think I'm gonna do this back wall over here, and maybe the ceiling at $11 a piece. I don't mind the OSB. I think if I do the walls here in it, which I'm thinking I'm gonna, at $11 a sheet, just so you guys know, I know a lot of you already know about the situation with my mother. This is my parents' house. This is my garage. I built this garage. I paid for it. Blah blah blah. But it's at my parents' property. My father passed away 2 years ago. It'll be 2 years ago, April. My mother's got the house. She's out of money. We are doing a reverse mortgage on the property, and my brother's done all this math, and it can actually maintain itself. It's sort of weird. The value of the house automatically increases every year by a set amount. And if we just draw, really all she needs to do is pay the taxes. That's the only thing we're having issues paying on the property. For the last 3 years, 4 years, my brothers every 6 months have been paying the taxes on the property. Taxes here are kind of high. They're not, everyone's like, oh, they're really high, but we get so many services through the town. Like all the town nurses and everything are all free. It's not part of the insurance. It's part of our town taxes. She's got all kinds of town benefits. Our garbage, we're one of the few towns in the country still, I guess, that still has town-based garbage collection, which that might not impress you, but oh my God, I love not having to go to the dump unless I'm taking like big carloads of crap. To just have it every Monday and Tuesday. Every Monday, garbage goes out. Every Tuesday, recycling goes out. That's actually lowered because come to find out, our recycling company, our recycling is contracted through a private contractor for the town, and we've had the same two guys for like literally almost 100 years doing it. And the second guy just retired, and it went up to contract again. And this new company actually lowered our recycling to the point where they're like, it's almost free now because they have their own separation, I guess, and they're actually getting paid for some of the metals. So all their separation, the plastics and stuff, we still pay to recycle out of town, but the metals we actually get paid for. And they're like, it's almost a wash. And they actually lowered our town taxes by like 85 or $90,000 last year for recycling. So they're not charging us for recycling anymore. We do have to be a little more careful. And they say as soon as people start really screwing up, I mean, you're always going to get some idiots that don't, clean the stuff. But as long as we clean it, they will take anything that's plastic, metal. They just want you to rinse it out. You don't have to wash it. Just rinse it out. Make sure it's not totally covered in goo and mold. Any metals, including now, it used to be like tinfoil wasn't included. Now it is because that's actually, they get paid for it. And they get paid like, I don't know, 5 or 6 cents a ton because it's considered dirty recycling. But they separate it all out on their own little separation system. So getting paid for the metals, the aluminums and the metal. So instead of we used to drive to the dump if you had value metal, like if I went to like recycle my planer, which is cast iron, you'd go to a recycling center and you get paid for it. Well, now you just throw it in the garbage and our taxes are going down. So anyway, our taxes went down instead of going up like most people's because our recycling has actually paid for itself. Go figure. Here they are, you hear all these people saying, oh, 90% of what you throw into recycling just goes in the landfill anyways. And they're absolutely right. But if it's done correctly, it'll pay for itself. And the things that do get recycled do get recycled. But anyway, on that note, I don't even know why I got into that. Oh, our town taxes. Mom's doing a reverse mortgage on the house. I'm actually going to get some money out of it initially. My brothers are all going to get their money back. My brother, who's the executor of this whole thing, somehow or another has figured it out that we can actually float the loan and not increase it because the value of the house always increases. So even though she's drawing a set amount off of it every year, that set amount can be set to whatever the increase of the house is. So the loan actually never increases. The interest doesn't accrue. So if we borrow $300,000, on the loan, it just stays at 300,000. It doesn't keep rolling up like most of them do because it's actually a what do you call it? Not actually a loan. You only pay on what you draw off of it. It's just they're giving us a said cap. I think they said the house was $450,000 or $475,000 with the garage and everything, the property, the house, garage, property, and we have a cap of $250,000 we can draw, but we're only drawing like $5,000 or $6,000 a year tops. Anyway, my brothers are like, whatever we can go to beyond that and not increase the loan, exceptionally amount, they're going to actually start paying me for being a caretaker. So hopefully, even though it won't be a lot, it might only be a couple $300 a month, $300 a month that I can play with. So hopefully, as of tomorrow, because the closing is tomorrow, I can start having a little bit of money. I mean, again, it won't be a lot, but I will start getting a bit of hobby money. And that's all, my brothers are like, you haven't done everything I have out here is because of my brothers. They're like, I'm like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And they'll be like, why didn't you do this? And it's like, well, I don't have this tool or that tool or, you know, I mean, this is kind of a hobby. I'm trying to make money at it, but it's a hobby at this point. And they're like, you need to have de-stress with mom and everything here. So they've been buying me, like my brother just bought me, which he screwed up for this, which is why it's over here instead of over here because it's getting cleaned out and rebuilt. I'm getting a helical head this weekend for this. The only downside is my brother ordered it for Christmas, and he actually ordered it back at Thanksgiving for Christmas, and it just shipped yesterday. So it's supposed to show up on Friday, tomorrow, but unfortunately shipped it to his house by accident instead of here. Not a big deal. It's just now I got to wait for him to bring it. But I'm going to strip this thing down and rebuild it again. I actually rebuilt it when my brother first gave it to me. This is my brother's. I cleaned it. I didn't really rebuild it. I'm going to strip it down and rebuild it. Anything that really needs to be done. Some of the bolts are stripped out. And it really needs a better buffing. And it works pretty well. But it's getting a helical head. I'm going to put a link belt on it, which will quiet it down a lot, I hope. It did on this table saw. But yeah, I'm going to yank it apart and just give it a good hosing. So that's why it's there. I haven't taken it apart yet because it's kind of a finicky thing, and where it's going to him, who knows the next time. Here's the other thing. Him and his wife had COVID, just tested positive for COVID last week. So who knows when they're going to get here. It's going to him, so it's going to be sitting there probably another week or two before I see the unit. He was like, oh, I'll just mail it to you. It's like, don't bother. This works. I don't need it. It's a luxury item. So just hang on to it. When you guys are feeling better and the whole COVID is gone away, just bring it some weekend when you guys want to come over. They're both retired, so it doesn't matter. But anyways, this is going to get rebuilt. And some stuff out here is going to get rebuilt. And that's why I was talking about the MDF for the walls, or OBS, not MDF. I won't use MDF. I hate MDF. The OBS, OSB. I keep getting them because OBS and the internet streaming and OBS the wood. OSB the wood, OBS the streaming software. Keep getting them screwed up. Anyways, the sheets are $11 at Home Cheapo right now, and like $12 at Lowe's. And I think the local lumberyard, which I may go with anyways because they'll deliver and I don't have to deal with a truck because my van's going away. They'll deliver it, so I think they're only like 12 or 13 bucks, so it's only a couple bucks a sheet more. So if I buy 10 sheets for $100, I can cover most of the walls here and at least part of the ceiling, and just have it covered. And I'll probably paint it. Where that I never painted, I just slapped it on the wall. But I probably will pull everything down and paint it. Just more because the brown. I don't mind the brown. I actually kind of like it. I just think if I have a wall or two of white, it'll reflect light better and make less shadow areas. Not that it's dark in here. It's not terribly. I have plenty of lights. I want to add a couple more, but that's not a big deal. In fact, I just might do that. Because right now I only have 2 outlets up there off the light switch that are running all of these. And I could just run a wire off that outlet down to here and put another box in and just have another bar of lights, because that's my dead zone, is in front of the garage doors. When the garage doors come up, there's no lights there because the garage doors come up and block them. A lot of times, in probably 8 months of the year, I work with those open. This one here has a screen door on it. down. It's actually got a screen on it, so I can open the garage door and work with the airflow and keep the most of the bugs out. It's not perfect, but it doesn't just let flies and bugs and crap fly in here willy nilly. It keeps 90% of them out. So this has to stay clear on this side because I do plan on getting another vehicle in the future. It's not right away, and it will be garage, so I need to keep this half so I can always pull a vehicle into it. I really, 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 really want one of those little Japanese 4-wheel drive K-car pickup trucks. That's actually what I really want because they're 4-wheel drive. They're tiny. You can use them for just about everything. They're super easy to work on. I've had a few people say, oh, you can't get parts for them, but you can because they're basically the same Japanese motors. If you get a Isuzu or a Hyundai or Toyota makes them or whichever brand, they make their cars use a lot of the same parts. So the parts aren't not available. They may not be as easily available, but you can get most of the parts. And they're not like super complicated. They're Japanese imports. So I can use it for a plow because they're 4-wheel drive. Supposedly they plow really well. I actually have a friend that uses it. That's what he bought it for, as a plow. I could use it to carry lumber if I want. I can go to the lumberyard or Home Depot or Lowe's or the hardware store in it without using my mother's car. My van's done. I'm just not going to fix it. It's not worth it. It needs way too much work. It's a freaking gas guzzler up the yin yang. They're offering me. It's funny. I couldn't sell it. I went to sell it just before Thanksgiving, and I couldn't sell it because I can't find the title. I have it, just can't find it. No idea what I did with it. But it's 20 years old as of the first of the year. So I don't need a title anymore to get rid of it. So that's another $500. They offer me $500 for it. It's not running. It needs wiring to the auxiliary transmission. It's an 8-speed. It's got a 4-speed standard transmission and a 2-speed rear end. It's not actually a rear end. It's an auxiliary add-on transmission for towing. It's a kickdown. It's a 1.95 or something. I don't know. It kicks it down just a little bit, so it tows easier. I love the van. It's the only van I've ever ridden in that I actually like to ride. It doesn't feel like you're riding. It's a 1-ton. It's a 1-ton minivan. It was a special order from GM. It wasn't an add-on. It wasn't a modified. It's a factory built that way. It rides like a car, not a van, which is awesome. It doesn't have the whole suspension's overbuilt, so it doesn't do that roly-poly, feel like you're in a boat every time you go around the corner thing. It rides like a car. It's amazingly awesome. It's the nicest van I've ever ridden in. One of the nicest vehicles, ride-wise that I've ever been in. It's just it's a beautiful ride in that thing, but it just needs too much work. I'd have to spend 10 grand on it easily to get it roadworthy proper again. Needs a new transmission, basically. I could probably fix it. Not really worth it. Needs the motor rebuilt. It's got 275,000 miles on it. The rear end needs to be cleaned up and rebuilt. The rear end's actually newer because they put a new-ish rear end in it when I bought it. Because literally the day I bought it, I drove it out of the dealer. I bought it from one of them little gas store dealers, at the gas station would, they sell half a dozen cars at the same time. I only paid $4,000 for it. But I drove it off the lot and didn't get a mile down the road, and the rear end just blew apart. And the guy was totally cool about it. Like, yeah, whatever. Like, what do you want to do? You want your money back, or you want me to fix it? I said, well, if you can fix it, not charge me anything. Like, yeah, no, it's on me. It's not your fault. So he put a new rear end in it. And it wasn't new, but it was like I think it was what's the Chevy pickup truck? The little one. It was a 3/4 ton pickup truck. the smaller bed, but it was totaled. The whole front end was smashed. And he pulled it out of that and just slapped it in and charged me. And he's like, give me a week to do it. So it's kind of fairly new. The truck was only like a 2-year-old truck. I bought that in 2007, 2008. It was a 2003 that had 180,000 miles on it when I bought it. And it was only like 4 years old. And all he did was drive it to New York to Boston and back. That's all it did. Hauling material back and forth between the two cities for a wiring company. It was an internet wiring company. That's all they did was pull wire in New York and Boston. And it just hauled spools of wire, like huge. Had a hydraulic lift on it. But anyway, it's going away. I liked it. Not worth fixing it. Just cost too much money. I think I'm going to get one of those little Japanese pickup trucks. On that note, let's get into what I actually have to do here instead of babbling about crap you guys don't give a crap about. That's my update in life. So let's get this chair out of the way. And I think the first thing I'm going to do is take these 3 sticks that I think I want to pull material off of and get rid of everything I can't get material off of them and throw it out. So let's fire up the bandsaw. My knee's throbbing already. Damn it. We got to turn the power on. Got to tension the blade. Got to make sure it's centered on the wheels. Make sure the vacuum's running. It's going to get loud. Vacuum's running. Wow, I don't even think this thing's worth dealing with. It's pretty solid. I thought that was going to break right here. I can get some stuff out of these, even though they look totally scrappy. This one I think I'm going to cut some off with the handsaw. Need my glasses. What did I do with my glasses? Did I just take them off? Where are my safety glasses? Did I leave them inside like a dumbass? I thought I had them out here. Wasn't I wearing them earlier? I got my regular glasses. Usually my safety glasses are stuck in my hat. Wasn't I wearing them earlier? Of course, I just threw out all the old ones. Definitely want my safety glasses. And no, I got his yellow ones out here. Well, that's a bummer. I'll use these. I'm not worried about anything coming back and splattering me in the face. I just want to keep the sawdust out of my eyeballs and actually be able to see what I'm doing. Circular saw. Let's cut out what I know I can't use, which is all this crap right here in the middle. And she can burn that. Same with this. This is pretty much unusable here. She can burn that. Thought I had 3. Where's the other one? Did I walk away with it? Yeah, it's right there in front of me. Hursty. This is all pretty much toast from about here back. So let's cut that off. Into the burn pile. That's part of the burn pile. And let's set up a bandsaw. My new fence. I just did a video on this. If you hadn't seen it. Get the most out of this I can. This is all garbage. I might as well cut that off. It's all split right here. Might as well cut it right off. Because I can't use it. The rest of this I can. And that's about the thinnest spot right there, which is, I cut it right at a, what do I have there? Half an inch. Put a 5/8, that'll skim it right out. I get to use my nice pretty new fence. And where's my push sticks? So I don't chop my fingers off. And let's fire it up. It's going to get loud, guys. Yeah, it should work. Garbage, garbage. Nice piece of maple. This, I think I can do the same width. So this is all bowed, but it's still not a bad piece. Wow, it does have a bow in it. This is garbage. This can get a lot thicker. I suppose I should just use the tape measure and then I can actually set the fence. That would help, huh? Let's use my little baby Milwaukee tape measure. That's the narrowest part, is right at about an inch. A little bit less here, but I don't care. So let's set it right at an inch. 1 inch. Doesn't have to be exact. I'm just cutting off scrap anyways. Pretty. Too bad that's basically useless. And I know there's people that are going to be saying, oh, you can make a freaking live edge board or something. Yeah, screw that. I'm not into that. I shouldn't say that. I kind of like the live edge stuff, but I'm just not that into it. And I think I'm going to leave it right there, too. Looks like you could use this for something, but there's nothing there. Cut it up so it fits in the box. But I did get some usable stuff out of this. I love this little cordless saw. I'm ripping through hard maple. This isn't soft maple. This is hard maple. A little 18-volt cordless saw. Like it's nothing. So anyways, I got these chunks of wood out of that, which are all usable. So that's good. They're usable. And I got rid of some junk I don't need. Really wish I could use this for something. The bizarre looking wedge, but it's all punky too. Got a bunch of bug rot in it. Not that you guys can see it, but it's garbage. Tired of saving garbage because I might use it someday. So there's that. So I'm sort of cleaned up. And I can detension the saw so I don't stretch my blade. These I will keep. My little nylon screws. I want to clean this up some more and do a shop tour. Shop tour, that's the thing. Everybody watches shop tours on YouTube now. I actually like watching the shop tours. Not because I give a crap about someone else's shop and how they do it, but it gives me ideas. You know, when you see somebody else's little shop tour and you're like, oh, that's a pretty cool way to hold this thing. You're like, that's not a bad idea because I got to organize under here and over there. My two messiest spots are this bench, which this bench hasn't been completed because it's getting a bench vise, which I think I'm going to use these maple table leaves. These were leaves to an old kitchen table, and they're solid maple. So I think I'm going to cut these down and make a moccasin vise for this end of the bench right here. And I'm not big on drawers. I think they're obnoxious, but I think I am going to put drawers under here because I've got some stuff under here and it's just getting covered in junk, where if I put it in a drawer, it'll help keep some of the sawdust out, I guess. I don't know. Will it? It might. But yeah. Let's look at the material. It's much prettier. Well, the equipment's pretty too. I got some pretty nice tools these days. That bandsaw is sweet. For those that don't know, I won that bandsaw. I had a much smaller, much lower powered, just fine. I had the little, it was a 14-inch, it's a 14-inch too. That puppy right there. I had a 14-inch Grizzly, but it only had a 6-inch cut throat, really like a 10-inch opening, where that has a 12-inch by 14-inch cut throat. So it's 12 inches tall by 14 inches deep, or 13 inches deep, because it's a 14-inch bandsaw, so the most it can go is 13 inches, which is nice. Other than that, it's not. I don't think it's any better of a brand. The Grizzly was a fine bandsaw. There was nothing wrong with it. Worked fine. A little underpowered. It was only a 3/4 horse, where that's a horse and 3/4. It's got the bigger height. It's a little more modern and better, and it's just a nicer bandsaw. I like the tensioner better. The other one had a tensioner on it. It's just I kind of like the way that one operates a little nicer. Dust collection on this is way better, like 100 times better. The only dust this thing doesn't collect is actually on the table itself. Anything that gets into the machine, that thing cleans it out. I never, like the Grizzly, every time I used it, I would have to open it up and vacuum out all inside the body of it, or else it would just build up with dust. That thing, I can go months and not clean it, and there's barely like any dust to like even like coat your finger in the body of the wheels. Freaking ultimate dust collection on that thing. You still get a lot of sawdust on the actual table because there's no vacuuming there. There's no way to vacuum it that I can think of. but anything that gets in, past the bed and into the machine gets sucked up to the vacuum, which is freaking awesome. Not sure it's my favoriteest, but for free, I can't complain. I did just do a review on it on YouTube. You can go see my YouTube review on that bandsaw. And the things I don't like about it, which are mostly the fence. Absolutely hate the fence on that thing, which sucks because the fence is kind of important. I have built a slightly better fence for my use case. The high-low fence is nice. It's just not my use case. I don't cut, 9, 10, 12, 14-inch boards that often. I like having the ability that it can do it. I do plan on, my brother cut some trees down, so we're letting them season. I do have a feeling I'll be cutting them into boards on that, which that's great. It will do it. You can, saw down small, medium-sized logs on it to get lumber. Great. But my day-to-day use is just like I was doing, 2 or 3 inch tall material, which that high-low fence is absolutely useless for. It's just terrible. If it's in the high position, it's too high. If it's in the low position, there's not enough reference space. It's only a 1/2 inch tall. So if I'm doing a 2-inch piece, I can't tell if I'm against the fence because you literally can't see it. 1. And 2, there's not enough reference. So if you start, rocking, which often happens on a bandsaw, waving, rocking, there's no way to tell if you're up against the fence or not. It's just too low. I'm looking at a new table saw because that's one of the things I may get a kind of nice chunk of change between selling the van. Some of the cutting boards I have sold, some of them that are going to be sold, looks like, and the little bit of payout I get from the loan, I might have enough money for a new table saw, which I would love. This thing I don't really like a whole lot. People absolutely love these old Craftsman table saws. I don't get it. I never liked them, even when they were new. Yes, they're cast iron tables. Great. I don't like the motor dangling out the back. The fences are not that accurate. I've got this one pretty good, but it's kind of a nightmare. It's a constant maintenance issue. I hate the motor in the back. Dust collection on it is terrible. Yeah. I'm hoping I can get a new mid-quality table saw. I wish I had the money right now. Anybody want to give me $1,800? Because Harvey has their nice table saws, which are, if you haven't seen a Harvey table saw, it's basically comparable to the saw stop without the fancy saw stop on it. In some ways, I actually think they're better. And it's $1,800 right now instead of $2,600 plus shipping. They won't tell me what the shipping is. I'm trying to find out how much to ship because it's the one thing bad about Harvey is Harvey only. You can't go to a store or buy them elsewhere. The only place to buy a Harvey is direct from Harvey. The thing about Harvey is the way they ship, everything's on a tractor trailer / semi truck. They don't do home deliveries. Harvey's more of an industrial, so they expect you to be able to have a loading dock. They're not really homeowner-y. They kind of are now. They have some models that are, but their delivery is based on tractor trailers. And though I could get a tractor trailer up here, it wouldn't. I've gotten tractor trailers up here. The problem is it's 25 years ago, and trees have grown in, and it would take me a couple, 3 days to clear it out, and I don't have the chainsaws and the equipment to keep it out of the poles and the wires and the. We had tractor trailers up here. We had 6 of them, 8 of them up here when we built the house next door because it's a modular. So the house was literally a tractor trailer, and it's 4 boxes plus 2 smaller ones. This is 4 boxes for the house plus the roofs and the garage. And they all came up on tractor trailer, and it's a 44-foot house, 46-foot house. So trailers are even longer. But I don't think I can get one up here and turn it around, and I don't think they'd want to. So I got to pay extra for them to go to a distribution center. They'll drop it in a distribution center, and then that distribution center will bring it to my house and deliver it at my door. That's an extra fee, and they have yet to tell me exactly what it is because they're on vacation. They're off all the week between Christmas and New Year's. They're off this whole week too, from what I understand. So I haven't been able to find out how much shipping is going to cost. I'm not that much of a rush because I don't have the money right now, but I want to get it while it's still on sale because it's like basically I'm thinking I can get it for the same price it is shipped. Basically, get free shipping because it's on sale. My shipping is probably going to be $600 or $800 again to get it dropped at my door. So you're talking $2,500 to my door for it. But yeah, it's a nice table saw. And it's a nice full cabinet table saw with up and over vacuuming and all the features and all the stuff you want. It's literally like SawStop is the king, and not just because of the SawStop mechanism. Their table saws are phenomenal. I mean, you could get rid of the SawStoppy electronics, and it's still a phenomenal table saw. So I've used a couple of them. They're top of the line table saw. Harvey is comparable. It's up there. I'll take a Harvey over like a Powermatic or a full size Jet. I would take a Harvey over it any day of the week. So that's my dream. Either that or I'm going to get the Laguna. The Laguna right now is only $100 less. It's a smaller motor. The dust collection isn't as good. It's got a few other problems. I don't think the fence, even though the fence looks similar, the actual shoe on the Harvey fence is longer than on the Laguna. They're almost exactly the same otherwise, but the shoe on the Harvey is longer, so it doesn't. There's a lot of people complaining that when you lock it down, the Laguna, the fence will actually flex on the far end. It'll actually move if you push on it, that's a no-go for me. You're paying my number one paying for a decent table saw. It's more important your fence is good than anything else. Number two is a flat, super flat bed. And if the fence is no good, the flat bed doesn't matter. And then it's horsepower. You want at least like 1 3/4 or bigger for what I'm doing. A 2 should be fine. I can get it in 3 horsepower, same saw. They just put 3 horsepower motor on it. But then it's more money. It's like $500 more. And you have to run 220 to the saw, which the one I'm looking at is 110 or 220. You can wire it either way. That way I can leave it 110 because everything here is 110 now and wire it 220 when I want to. Everything I have here will do either or. The only thing that won't is the dust collection. Right now I have the dust collection hardwired to all 3 of these. If you look, all the wires go down to right where the leaf blower is. And there's a splitter. And any draw off of that splitter kicks my vacuum on. And all of this wiring, even I've got like a super, super heavy duty extension cord that I'm running from the vacuum to this. It's all 12 gauge. It's not cheapo freaking 16 or 18 gauge extension cords like your normal everyday extension cord. That's 12 gauge. That big yellow cord going alongside of that vacuum is 12 gauge. That was one of my fancy job site ones that we used to use to feed off a generator. That was actually the cord I used to feed off the generator, and we would shoot it out through the building to everybody to have, their equipment running on a job site. That thing is beefy. That extension cord, you see it all curly right there? It's super duper beefy. And I've had no problems with it. So it's all on a dedicated power line, one circuit breaker. All it runs is the vacuum and whatever tool I'm running. As long as I'm only running one tool, it doesn't matter. I've never tripped a circuit breaker. This has a 10 amp circuit breaker on it, that little yellow splitter. That's a 12 gauge high voltage, high whatever. But I bought it with a 10 or a 15. I think it's actually a 15. Oh, it's a 10. It's 10 amp circuit breaker on it, built into that. So if one of these starts bogging, and this is the only thing that's ever tripped that circuit, and only when it's like I have a board that's really curled and it's pinching and it just bogs the motor down and it tripped it. The jointer never has, the chop box never has, and none of the bandsaws ever have. So I'm not worried about the power draw. I have run, again, it's a single circuit to everything. It's one circuit to there. The only thing interrupting it is the actual vacuum. Vacuum sees a draw on that circuit and the vacuum turns on. So I can just take that hose and plug it into whatever machine I have here in this little circle, and it kicks on the vacuum and draws it. So there's that. But yeah, I want a Harvey table saw. I think that's what I'm going to buy. I think that's my next purchase is a Harvey table saw. Or a truck. Or both. Kind of need a truck. This not having my van or a truck anymore thing is really beginning to hurt. It's like I went to go get plywood with my brother because he wanted me to build him some plywood shelves, which I got to get on. That's the other thing I got to do in the next day or two is do his shelving. I got 3 more shelves. I did 6 for him already. I got 3 more to do. They're bigger and complicated. We went to get the plywood. We had to pay to have it delivered. We had to pay an extra $60 to have it delivered because I got no way to haul it anymore. You just go get, go to the lumberyard, pick it up, throw it in the van. Can't do that no more. Need a truck or another van. That van, I would love to keep that van, but it's not worth it. Cost way too much money to fix it. Got way too many miles on it. It's super clean though. The body has 2 very small rough spots on it. Like, it was in the garage the whole time I had it. It was parked right there. The whole time. It was only 4 or 5 years old when I bought it. And I only paid $4,000 for it. Which is amazing considering what it is. Kind of don't want to get rid of it, but it's such a gas guzzler too. It's 12 miles to the gallon on a good day. When I'm hauling anything, it gets like 8. Which is just I need a more run aroundy kind of pick up a trucky, something I can plow the driveway with than that. So there's that. Next is let's get on this stuff. What time is it? A little after 3. It's a little after 3. So what are you guys doing today? Anything fun and exciting? I've only been streaming for an hour and a half. I've been totally babbling. Like completely off the wall, like my mother changing the subject in the middle of the conversation, babbling. I hope these are enough. Filters. So, I hate MDF. I hate cutting MDF. But I got a bunch of MDF over there that I think I'm going to build this box out of. Because I have it. I really want to use 1/2-inch plywood. I have a full sheet of 1/2-inch plywood, but plus that strip right there, which is probably big enough. I think it's 18 inches wide, which is almost perfect for this. But that's actually for my brother's shelves. And I have more than enough. That should do it. But if I screw it up, then I'm cutting into the full sheet. And he bought it and paid for it. So I don't want to hack it up until I have his shelves done. and I don't want to do the shelves until I got this thing properly filtered, because I don't want to run my vacuum outside anymore. I want to bring the crap in. I want to keep my heat. Right now I'm pumping, every time I fire that up, I'm pumping 4 inches of air constantly out the door, out the wall of heat. That's just a waste of heat. I need a water. I didn't bring my water jug out. I made it, I put ice in the water, I made it all, and I left it inside. I might have to take a quick break, run inside. There's something else I wanted inside. Oh, my safety glasses. I'm going to do a short break, and I'll be right back. Because I got to go inside and get my water and my glasses. I think it's this one. So I'll be right back. And we're back. I got my glasses. My hat all crooked. And I got my little mic I gotta put back. Is this thing still working, or are you getting halfway decent audio out of this? I wonder how long the battery lasts. Light's still green. Sound quality seems to be fine, right? Actually better than when I was using my headphones. I used to use earbuds. So there's that. So let's get on the actual getting something done thing. Clean up a little more here because I'm going to need some space. Lay'sville receipt, so I got to save that. in the receipt pile. Drill bit should really go in the big drill bit box, but it's just not going to happen. Going on the magnet. Computery stuff, clips going in the computery clip shelf. Some oddball screws. My temperature is 73 degrees in here. I actually turned one of the heaters off. It's like 50 degrees outside. And it's 73 in here. I might actually turn the heat down because I'm actually sweating. Oops. In fact, I think I'm gonna. Oh, I got this one set at for power. That one's on low. So this one must be on medium. Yeah, this one's on high. Let's put it on low. Box of junk I don't need. Some wood scraps that she's gonna burn up. And let's get into filter making and figuring out how I'm gonna make them. Can you see all the tools that way? Yeah, if I get the chair out of the way, you can. All right, I gotta hook the jointer back up because I had it all miscombobulated before. But let's take one of those and let's take a tape measure. And it says it's 16 by 25 by 1. It's actually 15 and a half by 24 3/4. So you can actually make the opening about 14 and a half because I'm going to overlap this cardboard frame here. And go from there. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but we're going to find out. There is a flow direction, air flow this way. So this is the back. I want to make it so it just drops in. When you start blowing, it'll somewhat seal against it. I know it won't be perfect, but it'll be a whole lot better than what I got now. They may put some kind of a like door seal behind it, so it starts pushing because it's gonna vacuum. Then it hits the vacuum and it's outflow from there. When it hits the outflow section, it will push it against the seal and seal it. So if I make sure I have an opening about 14 and a half by 23 and a half, my final opening. 14 and a half by 23 and a half. That should, well, that's pretty cool stuff. It's like really soft, like petting a kitty cat or a puppy dog on the inside. It's got the regular wire mesh and fabric out here, but super fine, soft material on the inside. Anyway, so I plan on actually making at least 2 out of these filters. I may go buy more. Like I said, I'm thinking about taking one, making a whole air filtery thing out of an old window fan I have. I have one of them little dual, narrow line ones with 2 little like 8-inch fans. So I may use that and build a box and put one of those in it and just see if it helps filter the air in here when I'm working. I almost want to put it on the light switch, and I probably will. I think the other thing I got to do in the next week or so is add a light or 2. Add another 2 boxes. I think what I'll do is I'll go down this thing and I'll just put 2 right there. 2 outlet boxes. So when I kick the lights on, because the lights are on their own circuit. I have all my lights in this circuit. This has its own circuit. The bay next door has its own circuit. The fourth bay, this is a 4-bay garage. It's actually a 3.5 because the one next door is the entryway to the apartment upstairs. And it's only like 8 foot wide with a staircase in it. And then there's a full car bay on the other end. And all 4 plus upstairs. Upstairs has 2 light circuits. I always put my light circuits on there. I have a 200 amp service for this garage, which is more than big enough. I haven't even used half the freaking board. So I like putting the lights on their own circuit. So if you pop a circuit, you're not in the dark. I hate people that put their lights on the same circuit as all the other outlets. Because then if you pop a circuit, you're in the dark and you can get hurt. So yeah, every space has their own, in all the lights. I have a big enough box, I might as well. Every light system, every system of lighting upstairs. There's a bedroom upstairs and the main room upstairs. They're both on their own circuits for the lights. Actually, no, I think I have all the lights up there on one circuit. And then there's a circuit for the far bay for just the lights. There's a circuit for this bay for just the lights. And then there's a circuit for these 2 bays for just the lights. I have everything circuited. Why am I hearing things? The neighbor's kidlet coming up from school. Is it after school time? It's well past school time. Almost 4:30. So I think I'm going to use this crappy ass MDF. I got to dig out from behind the CNC. Over here. I should probably spin the camera around so you can sort of see what I'm doing. Not that you'll be able to see what I'm doing because it's still kind of behind the CNC, but this will kind of give you an idea of what I'm doing back there. It's right there behind the CNC. It's all stacked. And here's a piece right here, which I will probably use. It's got a big hole in it. There's a piece right here, which I could probably use a lot of. I think that's long enough that I can get a couple 3 strips out of it. And then I think I have a big, huge piece, which is going to be a pain in the butt to get out. I got 2 kind of big pieces. I think I'll take the squarey big piece because I think this is big enough. Oh, crap, if I can get out of here without crushing myself for the CNC. And this one's all dirty because I've been using it. But that's okay. I don't care. I hate cutting MDF, but that is life. Actually, if I go over here with the camera, you can sort of see what I'm doing, even when I'm at a saw. Once I get this chair out of the way. Just don't need to be here while I'm doing this. So, how long is this scrapulations? It is 26.5. Well, that not be long enough, big enough. It's just big enough. Actually, that's about perfect. And then I have this piece, which is all bemounted and cut with angles and stuff out of it, but I can get some strips out of it because all I need is strips in each corner. Like a, I don't know, it'll be bigger than a 2-inch strip because the panel's 1 inch. So how wide is this? Maybe I'll make this strip width, just short of 4 inches. So if I say 4 inches, it gives me plenty of play. So if I cut this down into 4-inch strips, I can do L brackets on the 4 corners. And then I'll just have to take a sheet of something to make the top and bottom. Right? Right. Now I'm initially going to try and make it so I only need 2 of these filters, but I'm not sure that's enough airflow. I'm thinking it probably is, but it might not be. Because this is definitely filtering more than the stupid bag that it comes with. And even with the bag on there, it chokes. It's going through the cyclone now, so there's no thick material going in there. I have these little pieces of plywood I can use for panels. That's just like 1/4 inch, 3/8 inch plywood. So that'll work for that. So if I can get, maybe I won't even use this one. I might just use this. So I need 2, 4, 6, 8 4-inch panels. Can I get 8 4-inch panels out of this that long? 24 inches. No. But all I really need is 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I can just screw that, which I don't think is quite long enough. For a side panel. And then I don't need a box for it. And it's just big enough. So, that might work. And actually, can I go, do you think it would be better this way? I'd rather have it tall. I do want to make some kind of bottom on it. That'll take like a clear bag or something eventually. It's not going to happen right now. So I can see if it's starting to fill up. Again, I got the cyclone on it, so I'm not worried about it filling up. Other than if it accidentally overflow the cyclone, which I've done, I'm less likely to do it now because I got a clear garbage can on it. How wide is this? 5.5 inches. 5.5 inches. 5.5 inches. Thinking. Can you see the smoke coming out of my ears? Too much thinking. I hate cutting MDF. Actually, I may dump what little I have in my dust collection right now because I can put that in the compost pile. With the MDF, I cannot. We'll have to go in the garbage. Right now, I got probably 1/5 of that can full of good sawdust. So let me dump that. Actual sawdust. There's not a lot in there, but let me go dump this in my compost pile. So it's not polluted with MDF. Neighbor's puppy's out there barking away. There's a puppy. It's a puppy. All right. So I can use this plywood. I can use that MDF. I have a freaking sign. I got my glasses. Let's cut this up into usable pieces. Let's put the dust collection on it. Fire it up once and get the airflow through the saw. Oh, I gotta turn the power on. I have a power switch that kills all the tools. Now they're on. Ryan, what's up, buddy? How is life? I'm cutting nasty ass MDF. I freaking hate MDF. Absolutely hate it. Let's cut this down just because it's a usable strip then. Basically squaring everything up and seeing what I have for usable strips at this point. This can go right in the garbage because it's MDF. It can't be burned. Well, it can be, but only a moron would burn that stuff. Square this off. Nice piece of maple. Vacuum. We need to change the vacuum. Because otherwise I'll shoot MDF dust all into the air. Still will anyways, but just not as much. Yeah, nice cloud of MDF. I hate this crap. But I got it. And it's kind of perfect for this purpose, to be honest with you. And I actually think I have enough strips to do this. 49. It's more than 2 feet. 25. That won't quite do it. I would need 50. Well, that's life. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. I'm still trying to figure what I'm doing here. I'm winging it with a wing and a prayer. I'm wing dinging it. Wing dingaling. How do I want to do this? It will be long. Yes, it more than likely will be, buddy. You're not wrong on that. Again, it don't need to be anything super special anyways, so. Not even sure how I'm going to attach it. You can't really screw MDF together. It just blows apart. I guess I could just clamp it and glue it. It's just a vacuum box. Five inches. Still debating on how I want to do this. Oh, a big debate. 5.5. So these could be 2 uprights. If I make it a little bit shorter, I can make 2 more out of this at 2 3/4 ish. 2.5 is fine. Then, since this isn't long enough to do double the length, it will do double the width, which is only 16. It's actually a little bit less, but my finish will be 16. So if I rip this at 2, I can get 4. So that would be my top and bottom of the panel where the actual filter goes. And then I could just basically screw the sheets onto the face here for the 2 non-filtered sides. Then all I gotta do is get a top and a bottom, which I have more MDF over there I don't want to use, but I hate it. But I might as well use it up on this, because I might as well just use it up on this at this point. Right? Should I? I think I should. And actually, I think what I'll do is split this basically in half. So 2 minus the 16th right here is like, well, how many millimeters? It's almost exactly 10 centimeters, excuse me. So 5 centimeters minus the blade width on either side. So if I go at 40, let's just say 42 centimeters, that'll make it, because this end it needs to be cleaned up. 42 centimeters, which is basically 1 9/16. If I do 1 9/16 strips all the way around, that will cover that. Allow me to slide it in there. I can put some kind of stop in it. That's what I'm doing. 1 9/16. That is my cut. Really can go bigger than that. No, more than that. I can go bigger than that. 9/16 is just barely over a half. And I can push it to 3/4 ish. No 1 5/8. Gives me that extra 16th of an inch. Yeah, let's do that. 1 5/8. Right there. So let's rip this thing down and make a whole bunch of mess. We're going to clear the bandsaw. Yep. That might be a little too thin. I kind of like this thickness better. This might be a little too thin. Knock my phone off. I'd rather it be about this thickness. Well, maybe I could just leave those two that thickness. Make one the top and one the bottom. Because that's about perfect to cover this. Yeah, that's almost exactly. It's almost too much. Actually, this is about the right size then. Just seems so wimpy. It's MDF. I know I can just snap it. But you know what? Let's go with it. You know what? Yeah, I'm getting freaking MDF dust everywhere. I can see it in here. I can actually use this as the like back channel, I guess, for the filters to hold them in place. So I have two of these. Oh, no wonder I was getting dust everywhere. I never moved the vacuum, you dumbass. Idiot. All right. So I think what I'll do is run these at the same depth. Oh no, I'm getting sawdust everywhere. Hey, let's hook up the vacuum this time so it's not just shooting dust out. Freaking brilliant. Freaking moron. I'm a moron. I need to get one more of these. I can again use these for the stop/lip on the inside. This isn't wide enough or long enough. So I guess I can cut one out of this. I need one more long one. MDF's heavy too. Gnarly stuff. Alrighty. It's got some crap on it. So, if I take two of those, two of these, glue it and clamp it together, get about the size and shape of that filter. It should be good. Right? Right. So this has got to sit on top of here. Give myself a little bit of playroom. Don't need a lot. Because it's actually going to slide in right there. The plywood, I can screw right on here. So I almost wanted exactly that, just a hairy bit big, so it's not catching. So those need to be this size, 12 and 5/8. That give me enough room. Give me like an 1/8 inch on either side of the filter. Yep, 12 and 5/8. That's what these need to be. So I need 4 of those at 12 and 5/8. Somebody's out back. I can probably get 4 out of one of these, huh? Because this is, no, not quite. 49. I can get 3. Vacuum. Moving the vacuum. Moving the vacuum. Get in the pencil. $12 and 5/8. And I'm actually going to cut them all a little bit long this first round. Chairs in the way. Then I'm just a hair long, and then I'll snip them all down to fit after. And one more. Actually, I'm going to cut that off right now, even though I'm going to, well, I don't need to. I'll be snipping it one more time. Just do it like 12 and 3/4. Take all of these. Make sure I have the fresh cut edges on one side. Flush them all up. Make sure they're nice and square and flush. Again, this isn't high priority making perfect, but we will make it close. Do 12 and 5/8. We'll bring it over here so it's just nicking the laser line. And then snip her off. Yeah, they're all the same length. Now I need to make these all the same length. So if I take this mat right out of the way because it's just stirp, me, excuse me. This over here, those over there, get that over there. Get the garbage off of here. Take that and put it there. Put that there. Put that there. I'm going to take one of these and just put it in the middle temporarily here. And I may actually put one in there permanently because looking at this might be kind of wimpy. So I might want to cut a couple extra. That there. Put that on there. That all looks good. That around where I want it. Bring it all the way down. Does it still cover it? Yes, but just barely. So let's lower it a little. And I'm just kind of eyeballing this, kind of guessing. And I want it about that long. That's about how long I want it. So how long is that? That is 65 centimeters, or 25 and just over a half. So let's do 25 3/4, just to be on the safe side. Do I have a clean edge on all of these? No. Some of these have pretty gnarly edge. So let's put a clean edge on them all before I even start. And I need a garbage can over here so I can just throw garbage right into it. Because MDF is garbage. Then I flip it over. Where did I say I wanted that at? 25 3/4. I'm going to do 26 because that's 25, supposedly. I actually might want it even more. I'm going to do 27 because I have it with ease. So 27 it is. Then I can use a filler on the bottom or add space, and yeah. I could put a bottom in it or an inset or a... Hi, Jerry. Bye, Jerry. What's up, Stone Monkey Research? I'm building a more of a test piece. My dust collection right now, if you look at that, I have the cyclone, and then it comes out of the vacuum, and then the ultra-fine dust I have pumping outside, and it's just the ultra-fine dust. The problem is this is now heated because it's wintertime, which means I'm pumping 4 inches of high volumes of air. It's all nice and heated, and I'm paying the heat right out the wall. So what I'm doing is, for now, I've got some HVAC filters that I'm going to build a box to go on there and just pump the air into one of these boxes with these. This is the mid-grade air filter. It's not like the super HEPA, but supposedly this is enough filtration to pull any dust. It doesn't do... Let's see, what does it say? Let's go over it again. These are 7s. They don't have a MERV. They've got an FPR, or whatever the difference is. I don't know why they can't all just use the same rating, but I didn't get the 4s, I got the 7s. So it does dust and lint and airborne dust and mite debris, pollen, pet dander, mold spores, and bacteria. That's what this will filter out now. I can go one more and it will do microscopic allergens, viruses, and most smoke, which I think that if it's doing smoke, it's enough. Or I could even go to a 10, which will do smog particles also, which that's kind of overkill, I think. I got 4 of these. What I didn't realize is if you go to Home Depot, until I went and got there, if you go to Home Depot, and I think Lowe's too, these are like $11, $12 a piece for this size. I just guessed on size 16, 25 by 1. At this size, they're about $9 or $10 a piece, I think. $11 a piece. I don't know. It's basically half price if you buy 4 or more. For every 4, for every other one, if you buy 4, it's basically buy 2, get 2 free. So you might as well buy 4 instead of 2, because it was $22 for 4 of them. I think they're $9 a piece individually. That's like after taxes and everything. It was $22. So it's basically buy 1, get 1 free. So I'm going to make a box with, I'm going to start with just 2 of those, one on either side, have it pump into it. I don't know if that's enough airflow or not. I have a feeling it's not. I have the 4, so I can put 2 more on it if I wanted. I'm going to make the sides big enough so I could just cut it out and slap them in there if I so desire. But for now, I am going to just build a frame, which I do think I'm going to put a 3rd strip in here just for security, but I might just rip that in half for it. So I'm just going to build a frame with these on there and put some plywood on either side, plywood on the top and bottom probably, or some more MDF. I have more MDF. I actually have more MDF than I have plywood, so I have 2 more sheets of plywood and I have plenty of MDF. And basically make a filter box. What's up, local? How's life? So that's what we're doing today. And it is now 4 o'clock. So I think if I make 2 of these, and I think I am going to cut 1 more piece of this, go in here. But I think what I'll do is make it even thinner than this. Not a lot thinner, but thinner. Just so this isn't so flimsy in here. And I'm not even going to screw it or anything. I think I'm just going to glue it together for now. Because when I screw the sides on and everything, again, this isn't like structural. It's the only it's got to combat is the vacuum. Or fan now. It's on the out feed as a vacuum, so it's actually air filled. It's pressure, but it's not a lot. It's not like super structural or anything, as long as it holds together. So if I glue it up, I may throw 1 screw through it. I hate screwing the MDF because it splits so easily. But I have it, which is why I'm using it. I do think I'm going to cut another strip and make some fillers. And I need to move the vacuum. The only downside of this vacuum system, it works really well as long as I don't put splitters on it, but I have to go around switching. And a lot of times I forget. But it does work. So let's cut another one of these. And actually, I think what I'm going to do, because one of these has like glue on it, big globs of it. This one. So I think I'm going to use this for this, because even though this is stained, there's no big globs of glue. So let me cut this one down to here. And then I'll cut this one into two of those, which it should do easily. So if I just hold this up here, switch the vacuum over. And I had a small piece here. I could have ripped it out of. Oh well. I'm kind of glad I'm doing it, because that other one of these long ones had that glue blobby in it. So I match that length and match this length. I can now use this, which is it's not perfectly clean, but it's a lot cleaner, for one of these. I had another piece right here I could have used. Dumbass. That's all right. And then I can take this one and match these. Of course, that's going to overshoot that glue glob. That's going to matter less on this. As long as I put it in the middle. As long as I put it in the middle. You guys have no idea what I was just doing, because you can't see shit over there. So I put this here. Those go there. Glue it all together. Do another one. Have my two face panels. Basically, that the actual filter will go onto. Right? Am I missing something here? I don't think I am. Happy New Year to you, Speedy Owl. Speedy Owl. How was life? Welcome to my little makeshift, I have no idea what I'm doing stream. Because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just guesstimating here. I'm winging it with a wing and a prayer. Wing-dinging it. And we'll grab the glue bot. And I don't know if these are big enough or not. Are these long enough? I believe they are. Yes, they are. These have my awesome 3D printed feet on them and pads. These are just the Harbor Freight cheapo ones. They're 1/2 inch, which I like much better than 3/4. A lot better, just because it's lighter. It's just lighter. And I'm not even going to worry about actually aligning anything too properly. I will make sure it's square. But that's about it. That middle piece doesn't matter a whole lot where it lands. Wherever it lands, it lands. As long as the outer frame is square, this should work. And this is end grain of MDF. So I'm going to pre-coat it and let it sit for a minute. Because the end grain, you put it on there and rub it in. And actually any grain on MDF, but I'm just going to do it on this end grain here. Because the end grain will soak it in. And it won't actually glue. It'll just draw into the end grain. So if you put a little bit of goo on there and let it semi-harden, and then put more glue on there, you basically put it on and just rub it off, you'll actually get a better glue bond. And this is the same with end grain of any wood or wood product. And you just let it sit for a minute. And get a little tacky. Then the actual layer of glue you put in won't just soak into the wood. That makes sense? It's less actually a problem with MDF because MDF is mostly plastic anyways. But I do it anyways when it's end grain. Oh, my rags. I need more rags. I guess I gotta buy more rags. And actually, let me go figure out approximately where it's going here. Somewhere in here. And preset all of this also. Precondition. You don't need much. Just enough to basically seal the grain of the wood. Or fake wood, as MDF here goes. Just put it on and rub it back off. I think I used a little too much, but that's all right. Too much is better than not enough, I guess. Because this is MDF and it sucks. I hate MDF. I really do hate MDF. Really not my favoriteest material to work with, but I have it, and it's kind of the perfect thing to use here. For this kind of thing. A vacuum box, dust collection, filter box, whatever you want to call this thing. Let it sit for a minute. These are already drying up. Goes there. This one's going here. This one's going here. Actually, let's do it on these since they're drier already. With a nice coat of glue now. Because I really don't want to nail or screw this. I don't know. I hate screwing MDF because it just splits apart. Get a little bit of a clamping action on there. Get a nice coating of glue on there. We'll catch a little. It's just sliding. Not getting any clamping action. So this should, in theory, self-square because of the way I'm building it. I know it doesn't sound right, but it actually should. Because there's a long enough face here and here to make it square up. But I'm not going to trust it. because I just don't trust it. Let's clamp her down now. Well, these are flush. That's not. There it is. That pipe is just sliding instead of clamping. The only bad thing about these is I gotta clean that. It's got the grippies that grip into the pipe have paint on them with these cheapo Home Depot ones, and it makes them sometimes just slide instead of gripping the pipe. But all you gotta do is take a file and file the tape off or the paint off to fix that. And then we'll just use an F clamp for the middle part. Because that should be all it needs, and it's already like dry where I pre-conditioned it with glue. Oh, I really don't even need to put a clamp on it. It's got enough of a bow that it's self-clamping somewhat. When I got it upside down, don't I? I want that glue bob up. It doesn't really matter where it is. Well, let's see how square it is. And of course I didn't do this right. It's going to be hard to see what my... let's go inside to inside. And it is 26 7/8. And you can't ask for anything more perfect. So let's just make sure that square, that's 10.5 right on the button. What a nice guess. That's 10.5 right on the button. I couldn't have made that any better if I tried. Let's just clamp that up a little bit. A little tension on it. Get a little bit of squeeze out. And again, all this is doing is holding the filter. So it's perfectionist. Doesn't need to be. That thing's slipping. It is slipping. Damn it. That's all right. It's putting enough tension on it for now. I got to remember to fix that one. One down. Let's do another one. And I think I need a middle piece for the other one. Oh no, I made 3. What do you know? I actually did it right. And let's precondition it before I even bring clamps over. Did I say 10.5 off the bottom? Might as well make it somewhat the same, right? Those are not the same length. Well, let's make them the same length. It's only a nippy bit different. It might be off that set a little bit, but it won't matter. Because it won't matter. I will make it work. So, let's precondition these right here. right here, and right here. So let's hit it with a little bit of glue and rub it in. And a little bit of glue and rub it in. And a little bit of glue here and here and rub it in. And wipe off any excess. And then do the ends of these. Get it all nice and good. Gotta run. Have a great day. You too. Yeah, trapezium cheap. But this is just a garage shop filter box, so everything out here is trashy and cheap. Almost everything out here is leftover shelving, or I know you're gone already, but whatever. Everything out here is old, reclaimed lumber, old MDF and particle board shelving bracket units somebody was throwing out, and I'm like, I can use that for something. They make good good garage tool holder crap. Brackets and junk and shelving, lumber racks. It's all old particle board or pieces of flooring or whatever I grab. Out here, I don't care. I know if you watch all the YouTubers and they're all fancy, they go and get all kinds of fancy ass plywoods. And is this long enough? I think they are. These are the super cheapos, but they should be long enough. And they use all kinds of Baltic birch, and which is nice. I mean, I would love to do that, but most of this, like especially this kind of thing, where I'm just doing a kind of fly-by-night test unit, I don't much care. I don't want to use something nice. If I use something nice, that way I'll have a harder time fixing it later if I want to redesign it or change it. Or I guess that's where that one goes. I guess that's where that one goes. Let that all dry up. For a minute, get me some water because I'm thirsty. I'm trying to drink less soda and juice and crap. Just drink water. Trying to just drink water. Lose a few pounds because I'm fat. You'd never know I used to be 150 pounds when I was heavy. I was 135 pounds. Now I'm like 205 again. I was down to like 190-ish this summer. And then, Thanksgiving and Christmas and food and winter and just the general holiday season fatness. And now I'm fat. And I don't want to be fat. I'm tired of being fat. I don't like being fat. I want to lose some weight. I want to get myself down to about 175 again. That would be my ultimate plan of weight. That would be the weight class I would want to be in. That would make me happy. It would make me very happy. Let me put a piece over the joint on the outside of these to hold the joint together. The MDF, if I remember correctly, it's been a while since I've done this, doesn't glue together well. Doesn't hold. And again, this doesn't need to be structural, but I think I might just put a piece over the joint on the outside so it won't interfere with the filter, but help hold the joint. Oops. Drippy, drippy, drippy. Because it's not the glue that doesn't hold, the MDF just doesn't hold itself. Because you'll find if you break it, it doesn't actually break the glue. It breaks the MDF on either side of the joint. And let's clip it all together, get it as flush as I can. Clip it all together. Get it flush. This in the middle. Just to help stiffen the panel up a little bit. It is kind of thin and goofy. Up to my glue. Put an F clip on that just for giggles. Is this long enough? I think this should be long enough. I don't know how long as the other one, but I think it should be long enough. And it is just like the perfect size. Give it a little clampy clamp. Yeah, we get little screws out, glue, squeeze out, screws. That's my new word, screws out. It's very screws-y. Squeeze and glue, screws. I made up a word. Screws. I'm going to use it because I kind of like it. It's screws-y, man. And that is that for that panel. Now, I need some panels, which I think I'm just going to make out of plywood because I got a couple pieces to go along the sides, and then I'm going to need one on the top and bottom. Now, I was thinking of making the sides narrower, but if I decide that 2 of those filters isn't enough airflow, I can put a third or even a fourth one on it, get more airflow. I mean, this is what it comes with. Uh-oh, phone. Mute. Can I Sorry about that. I had to do that. This is all legal paperwork for tomorrow. We're signing the reverse mortgage tomorrow. Yay. So anyway, those are glued up, and I think that's about it because it's almost 5 o'clock, quarter of, and I have to go in and make dinner, and probably everyone left after that 10-minute phone call because I wasn't on the stream. So screw it. How long have I been streaming? 3 hours. Just 3 hours. Sweetness. So on that note, I think I'm going to kill it. I may actually come back out and stream after dinner and build that box. Build the actual box. I don't know yet. We'll have to see. I don't know what I'm doing. My life is still up in the air. I never know what I'm doing anymore. But on that note, I'm going to kill it. And there's nobody even left here watching really. So I'm not even going to bother raiding. So you all have a great day.